Me, 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 me. You. Can't believe you're busy with life, Samiyati. This is awful. It's all on Jaybird. I appreciate you guys being here. Genuinely appreciated. Use the toilet real quick. Wait. Maybe just go straight in. I don't know how long I'm going to be streaming for. Pretty tired. It's quite lazy at the moment. Oh, I'm waiting for 4.2.1 to go live. I think we all are, right? 4.3. Roadmap update. Burrow rewards. The economy update. There's hacking. There's exploiting going on at the moment as well. Has Bored talked about the hacking? I'm sort of talking about it very briefly now. Yeah, so there's loads of exploits at the moment that people are using with like duping items, and this is one of the reasons I hate gold sellers in games. Lead to people just exploiting, finding exploits to try and maximize profit, sell that money, or whatever. Absolutely awful. But so that's exploits. CIG are working on those. They're going, cool, yeah, we see that people are doing that. Kind of good that they are, because now we can patch our game and work with that in mind in the future. Cool. It's not 1.0 yet. It's not no more resets yet, right? So it's good that they discover that sort of stuff. There's also a load of hackers, apparently. So I haven't experienced this myself, but I've been seeing a load of videos online, at least a handful in the last week or so, where there's people using cheat software, actively hacking the game and god moding, speed hacking, things like that. running around as like a skeleton, which is one of the previous modes that allowed you to do that in Arena Commander. Stuff like that. So I hate hackers. I think that's the worst. That would ruin most of the games I love. Hackers, so like Finals, Apex Legends, stuff like that. Titanfall, just loads of games, and anytime there's any form of competitive nature in a game as well, more likely to be hackers. Any multiplayer game, there's going to be hackers to some degree. Now, some games that have like solid logging, you have a mixture of mitigations and preventions to this, right? You have huge amounts of logging, and then a mixture of automated systems going through those logs, or going through and looking at behavior which is unlikely, or whatever, like 8 headshots in a second. That seems weird, or whatever, like movements being overly erratic, or whatever as well, and things like that. So you have like a load of logging and people looking at those logs and made system logs. You have AI or whatever, or unique or weird behavior. Have anti-cheat software. There's lots and lots of mitigations and then you need to appropriately ban and punish those people. I mean, it's permanently banned. You've got to permanently ban these people and make it so they go, you're not allowed to have another account. If we find out they've got another account, we'll permanently ban that, and you don't have any, you don't get your stuff back. It's gone. It is gone. And potentially, you then search to see if there's any obvious links to anyone else that is doing similar stuff, warnings, or if there's 100%, yeah, these people knew because they talked about it, and we can see in their logs they've talked about it, also permanently ban them. Right, so sort of, cheaters would ruin Star Citizen. I guess 1.0 exploits at the same. I mean, there's always going to be a level of people trying to min-max and find the most optimal thing, or they might find a mission which is overly rewarding. Some of this stuff's pushed towards a little bit towards exploit, but some of it's just not balanced right, and it's overt exploits that I'm really against, because there's a lot of stuff you can talk about with what exactly is an exploit. It's obvious what cheating is. I'm against macros that allow you to anything that allows you to have an assisted aim that you shouldn't normally have. The stuff that just deals with the recoil for you and stuff like that. I think that's cheating. Some games seem to allow it, but I suppose if everyone has access to it in the option, if you have access to it in the options without having to put any hardware in or anything, ordered by the game, maybe that's fine. That is fine, right? Yeah. So you have all of these things in place, and you have harsh punishment. Can people work around some of this stuff? Yeah, but you've got to try and sort of get solid anti-cheat. Is easy anti-cheat the best solution? No. But if you have anything that's too invasive, people just won't want it either. But a mixture of lots of different solutions all working together, and like having the servers more authoritative, right? Have it fully server authoritative if you can, or at least the important stuff. Prevents exploiting and as much hacking. Yeah, so just if you find out about exploits or hacks, to report them to CIG. I don't overly want to draw attention to them in a sense of how people do them. This is exactly what they're doing. This is where you can find them. Things like that. Like, I think that both helps and hinders the thing. So CIG have talked about their preferred way of doing things is report it, tell them about it, and be concise and accurate to them about a problem, out making a guide how people do the thing. A lot of people are still seem to go, but they're not listening. They haven't they're not responding quick enough to solve this problem, and because of that, they may react in a way that CIG are like, "What? Why are you doing that?" Some people react in a way of, "Well, we'll sort of make the problem worse, or shine loads of light on the problem." I suppose that's a better way of saying it, because everyone does it differently. I'm not saying that there are any people that try and shine the light on the problem are that's bad, because it's not. It's obviously not bad. But when CIG know about a problem, they know about a problem, and you think they're not moving fast enough, maybe message them again about it, maybe message some other people and talk about it, but making a guide for it is a bad idea. Not, obviously, I've got a probably rose-tinted view of CIG because I've got friends there. And I occasionally talk to them about, oh, we're working on this thing, faster with it. You know what I mean? So yeah, someone said I would welcome a kernel level or bring zero access or whatever. Have no cheaters in games. Now, okay, I'm of a similar mind now because cheaters ruin games. I just want to play computer games. I want to play finals without having cheaters turn up. Yeah, obviously, something like that is too invasive, right? For most people. And you can have some real problems with that in the future, right? But I'd certainly pay more money to be on servers that were hacker free, things like that. Like I'm the quality of my gaming experience is so important to me, and it is largely ruined in so many games, like Rust and stuff, even as well. Like beating that, awful, and they often get banned eventually. But watching rage hacking in like Counter-Strike's hilarious. So they had the Overwatch system for Counter-Strike. I'm not sure if they do anymore. I haven't watched it for a while, but not Overwatch the game, but Counter-Strike had a system called Overwatch where people that apply to it can review game footage, go, yes, this person is hacking. They watch from their point of view, see if they're hacking. And you can tell if they're hacking typically because you've got all these tools as well, so you can see through walls and stuff. You're watching a replay of a game, you can work out, oh, they're tracking someone through a wall. They're repeatedly getting headshots even though they're pointing up in the air. Oh, they're spinning, and everyone's dead. And I really like that system, but obviously it wouldn't be viable for Star Citizen. But locking and it's problems they need to solve for sure. They can hardware ID ban. They can do a variety of bans, but I think I think what you have to do is you have to mark people's accounts that are interacting with the accounts that get banned. If you see someone getting loads and loads and loads of interaction with someone with lots of these accounts that have got banned for hacking, whatever, you go, and maybe message them or watch their account more closely to see if they're benefiting from it. You need to be on it and ban people and make it public that you ban people potentially. I don't want Star Citizen by cheaters. Yeah, it's a mixture of prevention and surgery, I suppose, is what I'm saying. I appreciate all the comments. Thank you. If you want to further support the channel, you're more than welcome. Join button under my videos, donate bits or whatever, sub on Twitch, all that sort of jazz. Would you please help motivate CIG, make it so that we can access our own gear, Arena Commander? So I think that is actually, they're working on the greater economy and item ownership. I actually think that's part of it. There are people that are working on Arena Commander. I mean, it's quite a small team. They keep on pushing stuff to Arena Commander. I think that is coming. So a load of the economy updates and UI updates and stuff like that we saw actually recently kind of all tied together with that. I can write it in my notes. It's something I can ask some CIG devs. Well, 100%. Hacking, permanent ban. Overtly exploiting, permanent ban. Permanent. Hacking even now, permanent ban. Exploiting now, so I'm talking about pre 1.0. So I think it's fine to exploit, and as long as you're not aggressively exploiting, if you're writing as a issue council report, or if you're doing it on the PTU, that sort of stuff, right? As long as you're not benefiting from it. But then when the game goes 1.0 proper live, you're exploiting, only exploit on the PTU, right? This game has way too much at stake just to ban their account. So much money has been poured into this game, and it should not be treated with such kid gloves. They just ban the account, ban the IP, ban the Mac. Yeah, all of it. I'm up for that. And you say you cannot own another Star Citizen account. If we find that you have, that gets banned too. I'm very careful with my account. I spent a lot of game and Ibukati, not wanting to risk losing. Well, so I think you shouldn't have to be careful with your account, right? These sort of things shouldn't happen ever by accident. Because you could get hacked. It's a bit of a different thing, right? Oh, you're talking more about this general exploiting. Again, I think if you're playing Star Citizen now, you might fall upon a bug or an exploit that's in your favor. And most of the time, the opposite way around. It's not in your favor. But sometimes you might fall and go, oh, did that just dupe? Oh, it did just dupe. If you're just going, hang on, let's do this. Let's just check. Let's do it another 100 times. I've got 100 of these things in my inventory, or I've been able to get the mission reward 100 times when I was only supposed to get it once. That's obviously excessive, and you're benefiting from it, right? But if it's on the PTU, you're not. That's my. I would like CIG have cleared up their stance on this. I would like a really robust sort of. Yeah, we want you to exploit on the PTU build or whatever. But these situations, it's just bannable. Sorry, don't do it. Stumble across it, it's going to be fine. But it's obviously, basically overtly hacking or exploiting. Ban. Permanent ban. Your IP. It's hard to. It's nasty to do on IPs because if you are in a shared IP, right? What is the game that Star Citizen should most seek to learn from emulate? And why is it Star Wars Galaxies? So, multiple games. EVE Online for a lot of stuff. Genuinely. EVE Online did a lot of stuff really well with it looking at cheaters and account bans, with it, the way it does some of its economy stuff, a lot of its economy stuff, the way it mixes all of these different goals together. Oh, be right back.
Someone just did your hair. Looks good.
that. I was very briefly talking to the postman. Nice chat. Right, hello. Hello. Sorry about that. So yeah, Star Citizen can learn from a lot of online games. Obviously, World of Warcraft, a load of MMOs, loads. But also, I think EVE Online. I think EVE Online is one of the biggest ones that can learn. So I have a bad thing when it comes to empathy with people. That I'm very easy to convince you deserve another chance. Okay, I can talk big when I'm not talking to an individual. I can do it as a sweeping generalization. I can be like, ban them. Someone says, "Oh yeah, but this situation," I go, "Okay, I will. I shouldn't be in charge of a banhammer. You need to have pretty. You need to apply the rules everyone, and make the rules clear, not vague rules. Because vague rules, then they just get inappropriately applied." Or can they make the game server authority led? I thought it was going to be. I'm not sure why some of the stuff is more client or yeah, it should be more server. Yeah, and I don't think that's going to be too impactful to server meshing and stuff. I know obviously there's more physics stuff goes on the servers. We'll have to wait and see. There's, as I said, there's multiple solutions working together are probably going to be the best way forward, at least in my opinion and my understanding. Duping miner-balls for hours on end is not okay. Correct. Because of also the people that are doing that, a lot of them are doing that because they're gold sellers. So they're financially profiting from an end and ruining other people. That is super against terms of service. I don't mind people selling ships. I don't mind them selling accounts. So I'm okay personally with grey market stuff. And CIG just don't support it. They get with it, but they're not against it. But black market and gold selling and exploits and hacking, naughty. Yeah, so for me as well, EVE Online, the loadouts in EVE Online, I would spend hours tweaking loadouts for and that was one of my ways of playing it, was just messing around with loadouts. I just love that. And I hope that I have that same experience with Star Citizen. How does we do more, Jaybird? Exposing game or testing the game? No. Cheap away until CIG. Not if you are not if you're gold selling, not if you're just sitting there exploit. Right? There's no need to exploit beyond going, that is an exploit, I'll report it as an exploit. There's no need to do it like more than once or twice. If you're doing it hundreds of times, you are against terms of service, and I'm all even now. I mean, potentially different in the PTU if reasons, or if CI, well, obviously if CI asked for it. If you're in the live build of the game, just yeah, that's where I stand on it, and you don't have to agree with me. It might be like no harm, no foul. Games in alpha, and I will actually use that excuse to if it's a point I want to make, I will use that in reverse. I will go, yeah, it doesn't matter, does it? I'm really against exploiting. I'm really against. Oh, that been. And I like knowing and understanding other people's points of view on this. Having them is important. I have my views on that sort of stuff challenged, or at least actually think about to defend them. And it does not have to be the same as yours. and we can all live happily together playing Star Citizen or waiting for it or exploiting. No. So, did want to talk about a couple of things. We'll come back to the exploiting and that. Probably. People will ask about it. So here. Got a load of new referral rewards, right? Now, I love new rewards. Yeah? Zin and I were talking about it. Zin wants more FPS rewards. Well, armors and weapons and stuff and combos of is yeah. And I agree with her. I'm a little bit sad that get this Mirai Pulse at 4. And then don't get another ship. Get what, 42 recruits? Whereas it was 10 recruits last time for Gladius Gold. I just wish there was a ship reward or vehicle reward at 10 and 25 recruits. And then this actual ladder would be, I'd actually think good. And because I'm fine with them having some cool, just like FPS and flare items. So, things to note, 42 recruits, the Don Levy or Don Levy version of Gladius, the Gladius variant, or doubt. Miss Raptor at 50 recruits. Yeah, Street Sweeper, just silly, but fun. 35 recruits, Storm, 100 recruits, pretty cool shit that you've got. Freelancer Max with some very cool brand paints. 200 recruits. Active. I don't know what it is. I have no idea what it is. Probably a Squadron 42-esque ship, but I don't know. But the Captured Vandal Sov. Hopefully they'll update the model. New one. At some point for all the Vandal things. Really rare ship. 500 recruits though. Very rare. And then 1,042 recruits. Idris M, which is great. Eventually I'll get an Idris M. Which is the Idris I want. I don't really care so much about the Idris P. I want the railgun. I want the military. That said, I mean, the K's cool. Laser on it. But yeah, I thought it was alright. This account has no barrels on it at all. I think my main account's got like 2. I've not put my code into videos. It's doing a randomizer for channel. Patreon. Members and stuff. We'll sort more of that out. I like the refresh, the referrals ladder. I was hoping that it would be a bit more exciting at the 10 and 25 mark. Genuinely. They put a ship in here, 10. They put a ship in here and at 25. I'd be like, oh yeah, cool. Some weird codes to them that in the UK there's companies house have change the way you do things and you've got to send your personal code off and they're making tax digital. Yeah. So, where are we? What am I talking about? Star Citizen, probably. Let's have some more questions. So this is going to be a bit long. It's very clear that the servers are kind of not able to load. Free fly. Massive surge of free players and hacking. Yeah, that free fly has been useful, but given that Star Citizen mainstream has been put on by scummy hacking and selling hacks, and they stop free flying servers. They can do both, and they probably need to do. They want to market Star Citizen, get people to try it. There is stuff they can put in to prevent hacking. Help with that for sure. probably be working on that now. Anti-hack, anti-cheat stuff. Also, yeah, you need to be very, very sort of like perma-bans. This is what we're doing, what we've done. Banned 1,000 accounts. We're not getting this stuff back. But that's the other thing, right? Is that the hackers are people that want to hack can just make a new account, free account during free fly, jump in, and you can use that for exploit as well. Bam, exploit account, sort of launder that money. The Mantis combat variant, which we assume is meteor, they've thrown the saber as the prettiest fighter. Now that's very eye of the beholder, but I'm looking forward to meteor, whatever, a heavy strike fighter. I think that's what we called it. At least that's what we're thinking we're getting with 4.2. Is the best question to ask: will we ever get old freelancer wings back? They would rotate, allow you to be told. In the video, yes, I remember. Lots of ships will get a few little tweaks, right? And it's important that they do. There'll be some more ship updates after they do the atmospheric flight updates and the flight stuff. Yeah, you don't get a referral point. You don't get them prospect transferring to recruit unless they spend dollars ship batch get a ship. Yeah, so that's the other thing, right? There's lots of problems with servers. CIG are trying to fix that with 4.2.1. General servers seem to be great. They are working on it. They are aware of it. But then obviously there's constantly problems like that at the moment. And will they fix the ATLS for combat holding? Some of this stuff's going to be fixed for 4.2.1, but I don't have any specifics for the little things like that. The little things. Obviously, it depends on the amount you use, how important or not important it is to you. Do you think the PvP quantum interdiction that was turned back on in 4.2.1 can impact the new event? So that pirates can impact the new event? Yes. At least that's part of it, right? Because you're supposed to be getting those resources from each other at kind of any means necessary. Although if you've got like a Chrome Stat 3 or more, then thing. But there'll be pirates selling materials and taking them from other players, and they want to be aware that when you're moving and hauling large amounts of refined goods or whatever you're doing as part of the Second Life, working with those Corps of Stanton resource drive stuff, that you could be in danger and you might want to bring escorts. You might, yeah. Sorry, what's PYR? PYR rebalancing? Sorry, my brain's gone blank. I've probably stumbled across exploits and Star Citizen. Not actively used any to my benefit though. Yeah, I think that's the. I think that's the other thing as well when it comes to people exploiting and cheating and stuff like exploiting. A lot of people view it in different ways, and as I said, some people want to shine a light on it because you're not moving. Always caution that just because CIG are not doing what you do, speed you want to do it, don't go against terms of service to make your point. What I'd say. Very much make threads and make threads within the term of service category. Don't break any rules. Don't go, well, I've got to make a guide where I've got to really put eyes on this and show where you can get the hacks from. And these are the people. And then I know it's this guy and then dox them or whatever. Don't do any of that. Don't do any of that. Which were your gotcha. I know obviously that's going to be updated for some of the atmospheric flight and the new flight model stuff, but I don't know when. They're working through it. I'm very two sides on a lot of these things, and very sort of not hugely strong in my beliefs. Like I can be convinced, or sort of I won't overly defend them. But when it comes to hacking, you're gone, buddy. Sorry. Actively trying to ruin my noise gate cutting out. It might be. It's because of apologies. Yeah, I think obviously a lot of these problems are because of the free fly, which is annoying. I didn't have the microphone close enough to my face. I apologize. That's because I look away over here. I've only been streaming for like a decade. So yeah, engineering should be coming the not too distant future. I'm expecting it probably by the end of this month. The tech preview build. But we'll have to wait and see. It might be something they're holding until 4.3, so later in August. What else is so we've got the Foundation Festival at the moment as well. Foundation Festival, cool little thing. But Mr. and I talk about this sort of stuff, and they're like, well, I mean, I want cool events in game and things like that, and it's more external. It's more of a marketing event. It's more for new players, and it doesn't really affect me too much. And I don't have the time really to. If I was going to teach people how to do something, I'd do it as a video rather than as a one-on-one. We had some stuff about 4.3. Oh, so these are the interesting things, right? So we've got cooperative zones, and as part of the cooperative zones, or the cooperative zones are in 4.3, for the August patch, abandoned underground facilities. Enormous multi-level structures are used for new cooperative zones. Not an event, not a sandbox, like contested zones, but the opposite. Where investigation, puzzle solving, and cooperation with players around you make completing objectives easier. So that's the new inventory system. Picture of one of the new ASD structures on the moon that's part of these cooperative zones. Sounds really cool. I'm really up for PvE dungeons. Basically what these are. That's what it sounds like. Don't know how non-PvP gameplay is going to be enforced. That it's I suspect it will be to a certain extent because it's going to be around Stanton, right? It's going to be in a lawful zone. I think it's interesting. I'm pro PvP and PvE and a mixture of the two. I'm also pro splitting them off onto their own areas, going, this is a PvP area, this is a PvE area. These are things that are enforced as PvP or PvE, but you have to go to that location to do them. You go, I'm doing this PvE thing, which is over here. Bam. I'm doing trading, which is mixed, and flying around is not perfectly safe. But But if I go here, it's much more likely PvP will happen. It's like much less safe. Go over here, it's much more like much safer. Pirates might interdict me, but that's unlikely to happen as well. Things like that. I want people to sort of know what gameplay they're getting themselves in for. Yeah, I just thought I want some interesting PvE content, which isn't pure combat, Zin was like, oh, I hope there's some real good puzzles in there and stuff. And yeah, I think she's right. I hope there is as well. $20 to squeeze your... Oh. Thanks, Chipper. I mean, ask me when the money's in front of me, right? Yeah. So I expect the colony to get some updates for sure. Like, tiny little modeling updates as well. But all ships are going to get balance passes, components passes, weapons passes, flight passes. Engineering is going to be a big change for all this. Best friend did you in game must be more than a decade ago. Skipped all the Star Citizen 3.0 though. We're like an anomaly. Looking forward to Squadron 42 more than the MMO part. No, I think a lot of people are. A lot of people will do both. A lot of people will get into Star Citizen because of Squadron 42. A lot of people will get into Squadron 42 because of Star Citizen. Super looking forward to Squadron 42. I will play that a lot. But then when I'm sort of done with Squadron 42, I might go back to it again later. But I'll play a load of Star Citizen. I'm looking forward to Star Citizen 1.0. I will play Star Citizen tons more. Play Star Citizen semi-frequently at the moment. But more, I play more on like the PTU and stuff than I do the live build. I'm interested in development rather than playing as much at the moment. See what I mean? Well, not that I don't enjoy playing, it's just I want permanent progression. Yeah, so what let's talk about? Oh, so there's bring this up. Loads of ships in production. 5 unannounced or yet to be announced ships, although one of them is probably the Meteor. And then they talked about the Ironclad. They've got the Apollo that they've been working on. The Perseus is going through Grey Box. The Kraken is in pre-production and should be going full production later this year. Same as the Gatak Raylan. The Paladin, again, is in Grey Box. They're working on some pretty popular ships. I'm pretty excited for them. Also know they're working quite a lot on the economy, and there's that new inventory stuff. I really like the look of this new inventory system. However, still a bit busy for me. But if the filters are there, cool. And this might just be as an example. But what I really like as well is the stats and the tooltips for like, oh, look at my LMG. Oh, let's compare these two weapons together. Like, yeah, I'm so hot for that. I think that's super exciting. Exciting is probably the wrong term, but well, that is exciting for me because I'm a nerd. You heard anything about exploration gameplay recently? So that is what CIG are saying at the moment. They're doing lots of FPS and point of interest exploration. So they see 4.2's Stormageddon. Sorry, Stormbreaker. They see that as exploration. They also see 4.3's big facilities. They see that as exploration. But that is more FPS or finding and then FPS sort of exploration for the most part, right? There is going to be loads more of that content. There's doors on the asteroid bases and stuff like that now as well. So they're going to be building more and more of this content. They are also working out the new quantum travel experience, which I think is going to be tied to that and sort of things that you can find. So CIG will be putting more and more interesting little content, things that you can find along while you're traveling around, beacons and stuff that you can respond to, but then more reasons to scan down asteroids and find wormholes and lots of stuff like that in the future. But exploration is going to be lots and lots of little things that they slowly put together, and then put a few more like bows on them, and expand them out to go, wow, it's FPS and there's loads of stuff you can do in your ship as well, not just traveling to the thing. You're scanning them down. So there's no hard that they've talked about for no hard gameplay loops, as it were, for exploration. You do know they're working on more scanning stuff and yeah, I want space exploration as well. We need both, right? And a lot of the exploration stuff's going to be hybrid. Be bit in ship, bit on foot, whatever. I'd like to see more voice recordings. You're going to start to see more and more stuff like that. You're going to see a load more in-game lore in-game. You're going to have loads more. Hopefully, with these ASD facilities in 4.3, there'll be a ton of stuff like that. Husband's going to go across a lot of hackers, mainly on the Australian server, some on the US. Hello, hello. The loot goblins, yeah. Yeah, I'm very, very, very pro PvE content and PvE dungeons. 4.3 sounds absolutely fantastic. And those co-op zones. It depends on how they're done. And is it just really sort of dumb kind of puzzles where it's just like, what's the code for this? Oh, it's on the computer in the other room. I like actual puzzles. And it's an ideal load of escape room sort of games. So. We could have 4.2.1 going live later this week, but Zin was saying probably more likely next week is what she's thinking as well, because we haven't seen a release candidate yet. But yeah, this week or next, more likely next week, I think. Looking forward to messing around with the RSI Meteor as well. I think it'll be pretty exciting. A lot of people have been excited for that ship, right? Actual get the Mantis chassis and make it into something that they want rather than an interdictor. And we sort of CIG do appear to be working, at least from what I've heard, they're working on player-to-player trading and transactions, stuff like that. I'll send you a copy of that thing if you'd like one. Feel free to feel free to message me, buddy. Yeah, we'll get it's Tessa Bannister, not Tara, but yes. Is the hacking thing a meme or is it really happening? It's really happening. Well, I've not seen it happening personally, but I've seen lots of videos where it's happening, and lots of people are saying it's happening that have experienced it. Same as the exploits. They're happening. I've seen that happening, though. Well, I believe it's happening. As far as I'm aware, the Mantis variant that we're expecting is the Meteor Heavy Strike Fighter. Don't know exactly what we're getting with that. Right. So this week shouldn't be too busy from CIG. It's sort of going to be them continuing with the Foundation Festival until the 14th of July, and that's when I expect sort of any day after that is when I would expect 4.2.1 to go live. So yeah, interested in what other people think. Please check out our video on the podcast later on today. We talk about just kind of stuff about what's happening in the Star Citizen news, about cheating, about exploiting as well, about our hopes for 4.3. Lots and lots of stuff, so you should check that out. I am going to end the stream in a second and then go nap. That's my plan. Just a half an hour nap. Whereas that podcast is going to be on my YouTube channel. Be there in a couple of hours, probably. Din's editing it at the moment. Typically edits the very cringe endings. I can't really work out how to end, so I just talk about NordVPN. Stuff like that. But yeah, thanks very much for watching. Genuinely appreciate it. Go check out the channel for more Star Citizen news. We sort of break down every Star Citizen topic we can in some detail. We'll probably talk more about the hacking and cheating at some point. But I like to avoid topics like that because, again, covering them in too much detail is like making a guide for them. Obviously, I mention them, that they're happening. No, thank you very much. I appreciate all the kind words from people. Thank you very much for watching the stream and people that comment. Obviously, if you want to further support the channel, use links under the videos and stuff like that, like things for NordVPN and all that sort of jazz. NordVPN.com/BoredGamer, all that kind of thing. Or use the join button, or become a Patreon. All that goes a long way of helping. Genuinely, thanks so much for watching. Really appreciate it. I'm going to end the stream. I'll send you over to if you're on Twitch, whatever. Someone else that is streaming some Star Citizen. But yeah, love you loads. Have a great week. Hope